What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny. Back here with another reaction video. Today's video, we're gonna do a cloned rappers. Still going through the rabbit hole of the great Tom Macdonald. Shout out to the gang. This is another subscriber request. I'm trying to cover all the tracks you guys throw at me. I'm extremely grateful. I probably got over 100 to do, but y'all keeping me going and helping me grow. So keep sending me tracks, and I'll keep putting out knowledge, and we'll keep comboing this thing and changing the world one reaction video at a time. And I always thought it was a cool concept to take current music and be able to tie a lot of history and the knowledge that I got, because history is boring. I understand a lot of kids don't want to sit and read Marcus Aurelius or Ralph Waldo Emerson, but if I can give it to you mixed with some jazz, some flair a little bit, it helps out, you know what I'm saying? Hit the like button for me if you can. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. If you like the message, share the video so we can enlighten the masses far and wide, because everybody needs to be woke up a little bit right now.
Yeah. The Illuminati knows the answers, taking bone samples to clone rappers. But the artists in prison to silence their vision, genetic copies going home after. They look different, eyes shifted, smile missing, skin lifted. It's scientific. If they can't control you, they erase the old you. Get your duplication to enforce their message. They clone Gucci, clone Kodak, clone Eminem. He ain't rap since Encore, know that. Cloning rappers when they overdose to keep making money from producing more tracks. The game is a sham, turning the artists who challenge to sacrificial lambs. The labels and devils are shaking hands, creating our artists in labs.
The executions have been televised, oh, they're on TMZ like every night. They take our...
Going into this one, this is already good, but speaking of rappers and the labels and being satanic, I'm sure everybody saw the Travis Scott Astro World stuff. And I'm sure everybody is saying it seemed a little demonic. And while I'm not going to sit here, I don't know Travis Scott personally, so I can't say that he's a Satan worshiper. The imagery for all his art is very satanic. And I understand him being in the label. He didn't have nothing to do with that. That probably came from 20 people down the line, and someone else approved off on it, and he just seen it, art with his mouth open, and didn't say, hey, is that from something in the past, or is that past art, satanic imagery? So, like Tom said, man, the record labels are very good at using satanic images. And if there is a Illuminati, that they have the hold on it, because they know something that we don't get. All of these artists go into this mainstream industry one way, and the way they come out is totally different. It's like their brain has been took out and a new brain has been replaced inside of them. That's why it's hard to criticize the mainstream people, because it's not like they came from wealth, and a lot of them are solely destroying the world on purpose. I think most rappers, they don't see the effects of what they're doing to their community. And if you can't see that you're the problem, then you won't fix the problem.
Heroes give us weaponized clones. The revolution won't be televised. I can't be replicated. Copy the attitude and the chains, but no one will ever do me the same. I can't be replicated. Try to control me, then guess again. Rebellion lives in my DNA. I can't be replicated. Duplicated, imitated, fabricated, eliminated. No, I can't be replicated. The system designed me to be a slave. I'm the glitch in the matrix that can't escape. I can't be replicated.
I've actually always said that about myself. I've always said I was the glitch in the matrix. Because where I come from, I'm supposed to be a shooter. I'm supposed to be screaming Black Lives Matter. The world is racist and the white man is the problem. I don't fit the narrative of a kid who grew up with two parents of extremely bad domestic violence. My father was considered an alcoholic. But you have to be able to rise above your environment, you know. There's always nature and nurture. And when you come from love, you don't go out looking for it. And I was lucky enough to grow with two solid parents to keep me on the right path enough. I wasn't perfect. I did my own share of dirt. I was a regular little kid, so I don't want to put that imagery out there that I didn't have my fair share of mistakes. When coming from a solid foundation, at some point I had to realize that I was the cause of my own issues. And I think once rappers realize that they're the cause of their own issues, like Kanye is really speaking a lot of truth right now. But the mainstream label is pretending Kanye don't exist. And like you said, when you start speaking truth, they call you crazy. But he's non-Billy crazy. So he's the one who's going to lead the way. Dave Chappelle is willing to talk through. I think real life, more and more, one by one, we're going to slowly start seeing an awakening of individuals. We see Aaron Rodgers getting tired of being pushed around. It's going to happen. And all it takes is one rapper to really open his mouth. Like I say, man, I really feel like I'm about to be the first mainstream libertarian / conservative. I can say what I want and I can do what I want, and you still going to respect me. Because real recognize real. And most of these people didn't come from urban environments. They didn't grow up hood. I personally think most black Americans over the last 40 years have grew up pretty decently. They've had a car in their home, televisions, Wi-Fi, you name it. So we're not in the Stone Ages anymore. And you have to keep repeating that cycle with these young rappers. But I think these young rappers are going to wake up because, once again, the Kanye effect. You know, Lil Baby and all them, they run their rap game right now, but they look up to Kanye. And Kanye is telling them, look, we can make rap albums without cussing. We can make rap albums without disrespecting our women. And I think that's going to have a bigger effect than what we would know. I think he's helping us from a distance fight back against the cancel culture.
I can't be replicated.
If they killed the rappers who were spitting truth, they wouldn't have a messenger to reach the youth. So they duplicate physically, implant abilities, replicate tattoos and cloning facilities. Indie contracts say worldwide, label contracts say universal. For all of time in all forms, they own all your music, your image, your name, and your person. Weird, right? I know you don't think that it's facts, but for 50,000 and a hair sample, you can clone your dog or your dying cat. It's another way for them to win the war by weaponizing important celebrities. Don't kill your foes, just clone their gods. Then you'll control all your enemies.
The executions have been televised, oh. They're on TMZ like every night. They take our heroes, give us weaponized.
Hey, I honestly do think this clone stuff, this artificial intelligence, this is real. I think population control is 100% tied with climate change because we are energy. All we are as humans is balls of energy. And the more energy I put out, the more I get back. And if I knew that and I wanted to control a nation, I would stifle the men so they couldn't put out a lot of energy. I would make them weak men. I would lower their testosterone. Because strong men question things. Strong men rebel. Strong men don't have anxiety. We look for confrontation. And so if I want to destroy a nation, I got to get those men weak. And then when I clone them, make replica copies of them, they work the way I want, you know? So if this is really happening, I wouldn't doubt it if they was really cloning rappers and taking DNA. I've heard that there's a lot of abortion sales in the shot. You've always heard about there being a black market for organ harvesting. I don't know how many of these things are true or not, but speculation that you've always heard about.
The revolution won't be televised. I can't be replicated. Copy the attitude and the chains, but no one will ever do me the same. I can't be replicated. Try to control me, then guess again. Rebellion lives in my DNA. I can't be replicated. Duplicated, imitated, fabricated, eliminated. No, I can't be replicated. The system designed me to be a slave. I'm the glitch in the matrix that can't escape. I can't be replicated. You can see the difference in their face now. Casualties of money and the fame. Posing for the cameras with that fake smile. A clone of someone who they used to be. I can't be replicated. Copy the attitude and the chains, but no one will ever do me the same. I can't be replicated. Try to control me, then guess again. Rebellion lives in my DNA. I can't be replicated. Duplicated, imitated, fabricated, eliminated. No, I can't be replicated. The system designed me to be a slave. I'm the glitch in the matrix that can't escape. I can't be replicated.
Yes, sir. I think, from my perspective, that's, to me, the dopest part about being a human is I'm a one of one. You know, there isn't another me. There will never be another me. And that's the coolest part about life and about God is when he created me, it was like, I want just one in him. He can go out and express himself to the fullest version in the world. And I personally think that's all of us. We all have the ability to change this world in a massive, massive way. And that's why the rappers are so important. That's why the entertainers are so important, because unconsciously, as children, we all want somebody to look up to. Uh, and when you need someone to look up to, what better than an athlete? You know, like I said, I thought Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson were different animals. I didn't even think that I had the ability to become a basketball player as good as them. And so with growing and getting better at my craft, I realized that they're just regular humans. Like I tell my children, man, don't look up to these NBA players. You know, don't look up to anybody. There's nothing inside of them that's not inside of you. And culture, you know, broken homes, man. Boys need somebody to look up to. And I'm really big on, you know, a lot of young black men come from broken homes, as well as a lot of white men. And so unconsciously, they try to replicate what they see on TV. The sex, the drugs, the rappers, the athletes. And you don't see the bad parts of their life. You don't see the struggles that they have. And we live in a society that wants to teach you to do for community and not do for self. And I'm a big believer that you can't help anyone else unless you help yourself first. You have to be selfish in order to be selfless. I can't fill you up from an empty cup, if that makes sense. So I got to take time to recharge myself and get myself right. And society doesn't want, once again, I'll keep saying it, man, society doesn't want men to be calm, to be level-headed, to be strong, to be masculine, to be tough. I need you weak and overly emotional. And so many men have given into that of being just soft and effeminate. Or you go on the other side of it, you got a bunch of men on red pill rage that are just super angry because of how life has played out. My perspective is different because I don't look at the mainstream. Like, I got friends that are rappers, and I don't think they're bad people. Like, when I say people are literally brainwashed, like, they have no clue what they're saying or what they're doing is remotely wrong. And I read this book. Well, I've read a lot of books, but in the Master Key System, it says that the first time that we hear something, we don't have any brain cells to accept it. And by the 6th or 7th time that our brain starts connecting, and if there's a 15th or a 16th time, then it logically like locks in, and we get it, and those brain wires are connected, and it's a part of us forever. So you have to find a way to expand your mind without becoming confrontational, because you know and I know, man, the minute you let somebody know they're wrong about something, they double down on it harder than what they ever had before. And so that's why I'm really big on being a living example and not really speaking to people. Because if kids want to copy rappers, I totally get it. Why not have kids copy me? If kids need somebody to look up to, you know, I said this yesterday at an event I was speaking at. You know, the problem isn't children are rebelling as much as its parents aren't giving their children anything to look up to. The left has always had a hold on culture. So if you want to save your children, you got to get into a culture war. And that's just what it is. You got to become a cool parent. You got to know what's going on in your kids' society. You got to know how to break a dance move or lift weights with them. Something to make your kids look up to you instead of to the world. I'm a firm believer that everybody's first role model should be their father. But your father has to give you something to look up to. You know, if you don't have a father, you have a grandfather. There has to be some type of strong person to hold you accountable. I'm always big on saying I was never scared of the cops as a child. I was scared of my father. And if you gave more kids that positive fear, and it wasn't fear like he was going to hit me or whoop me or any of that. It was a fear of disappointing him. And I'm very transparent with all of the worst choices that I've made was when my father was in jail or somewhere drunk. But when I had him in my life for guidance and the way I can call him and get advice, even right now, haven't made a bad choice in some years, but I've had a good relationship with my father for years. So I've always said, man, you got to return to the Father to seek the kingdom within. And we all know the right way to go in life. We all have a special gift and a special talent that we can capitalize on. And so I challenge everybody to find what you're good at. Find something that you really, really, really care about and find a way to make money off of that. Even if it's $1. If you can make $1, try that 10 times to make $10. And then try it 10 more times to make $100. And then just see where you're going. Everything starts as an idea. And we all have a $1 million roadmap inside of us. I keep saying that. So my goal is to make $50,000 in 1 month. I'm not sure what your goal is. And then once I make that $50,000 a month, I want to go to $100,000 a week. Like I said, I think big. I dream big, and I challenge everybody else to think the same way. Man, money is the energy. And if you put out that positive energy, then there's no way you don't receive that positive energy back. So keep spreading love. Keep spreading positive vibes. Keep sending me fire tracks, man. Be the light in this dark world. And until next time, YouTube, we are out. Peace. Go be great.